Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to part 2 of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Mirror Mode. Let's get straight into things. I think I've got a new vehicle part, so we'll see what that is. The suspense, let's see what it is. It's a gay cat car. Okay. Let's use the gay cat car. Stick with the same wheels and thing. But yeah, we're going on to the Flower Cup this time. And let's go for it. In a way, I kind of appreciate these long load screens because it gives me a chance to take a swig of water in between recording sessions. Remember to keep hydrated, kids, especially if you use your voice for your work, because otherwise you can kind of fuck yourself up, you dry your throat out, and it's not fun. But let's see what this gay cat car can do for us. And yeah, maybe this is Bowser being in touch with his feminine side, I don't know. I'm bullshitting now. Mario very nearly pushed me into that Goomba, or Luigi even. It seemed like that was a malicious attempt on that, but it's not the year of Luigi anymore. It hasn't been since 2013, so I can shove him right out the way myself. Oh yeah, that's one of the Koopalings in front. I can never remember which one's which. I think that might be... I don't know, is that Roy? I don't think it is. But either way, he's knocked the fuck out now. But I remember there being a bit of concern about the Koopalings being in here and the fact that they're taking up so many slots just for essentially reskins of the same character, which I kind of get that complaint. Ultimately, they're not that much harm given it's just a racing game. I can understand people being more concerned about slots in say Smash and fighting games in general, or party games like Smash if I want to be a dick like that, which I do. I'm a bit of a troll at the best of times. I'm happy to say things just to instigate a reaction, because it's one thing I've noticed over the last couple of years. One of the funniest fucking things is when something happens that causes a load of people to completely go batshit and get worked up about stuff, especially if it's something incredibly trivial, video game stuff and whatever. But yeah, that's the other thing that this game does. There's a third drift level. If you just saw, after I had the blue phase, then the orange phase, it went on to that purple phase, which is literally just a third level to it. That's something new in the Switch version, and I think it's kind of cool. I didn't actually notice that at first, because another new feature that this game has, at least I think it's new to the Switch build, is that there's this auto steering system, which basically it puts it on by default and it stops you from driving off of the road. And while something to stop you driving off the road might sound really useful, it's actually incredibly counterproductive. And the reason I say that is it also gimps your ability to take certain shortcuts. So you might have this part that that one section from say Rainbow Road Modern where you can just do a skip by jumping across the thing, but no, this auto correction thing makes it so you can't do that. And honestly, I didn't realise that was on at first, because I just thought maybe my controls were playing up or something, because I'd heard people would said that sometimes the Joy-Cons can have problems, and it was the first time I've been properly playing something other than Odyssey on the Switch, so I thought maybe something was going wrong there. But then I looked at it and there's a subtle little tell that I also didn't clock onto. If you have that enabled, then you see this antenna thing coming off the back of your cart. It's very subtle and you probably won't notice it at first unless you're looking for it. But it wasn't until I actually recorded a bit of footage of that just for the FC Playthroughs channel. Just a little bit of content to start the new year off that channel. And it wasn't until the fifth cupping where I realised, hang on, no, there's something definitely up there. And I paused the game and there was this option to turn it off. And it was kind of weird that it just puts that on by default without telling you. But yeah, once you turn it off, you're back to the sort of standard control that you had from Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. And I'm happy about that, because like, as far as Mario Kart games go, it's Mario Kart 8 that has the best control of any of them. Like, every now and then I'll go back to one of the older Mario Karts. Like, earlier this year in 2017, I've replayed both Mario Kart 64 and Mario Kart DS, and none of them control anywhere near as smoothly as 8 does. And like, even when I was replaying Double Dash last year, like, I was never the biggest fan of Double Dash. I kind of made that clear when we did the playthrough, but like, it kind of really became obvious how weird the control is. Like, there's no real way to describe how like weird the control is for Double Dash without playing it, really, other than saying that it's like heavy but slippery, I guess. And there's my fucking friend, the blue shell. Killer of fun. The item that comes about when the CPUs have decided you've had far too much fun in this particular race, so they think, no, let's have a bullshit item to come straight after you. I know that's a point of contention why some people just flat out do not like Mario Kart. To me, it's kind of part of what Mario Kart is. Like, it's bullshit, and yes, it does frustrate me if I'm doing well and then suddenly like a CPU comes and fucks me over with a blue shell. But I've kind of come to terms with the fact that that's part of Mario Kart, and that like, if I want to have fairer races, then there are other games for that. We're coming up to the tail end here, and I think I've won. And here is the, I guess, token Luigi's Mansion track. I think this is kind of a cool track. Let's see whether I can make it through this backwards without any concerns. Because this one's a bit of an all over the place track when you're playing it regularly. So to have all the things that I've very slowly came to learn over time be flipped, this could go any which way. I think I've gone the opposite way to what I normally do. Like, this would be... Actually, I'm not even going to try and describe that, because we're in is it opposite day on opposite day territory there, pondering about that sort of stuff out loud. So I'm gonna, you know, respectfully decline from thinking too hard about this. Now, thinking back now, I think this might have been one of the earliest courses I saw. I think this might have been from the showcase where they were showing that the underwater sections from Mario Kart 7 were back, and they showed that inside section there. God damn it, I missed the high route. But like, I think that was the part that they showed off, and I remember thinking that was really cool, because like, I think Mario Kart 7 was kind of underappreciated, I guess. But it wasn't unappreciated, like, it still, I think, did fairly well as an early 3DS game. I seem to recall it coming out before I got my 3DS, so, you know, maybe I just didn't see much of the buzz for it when it first came out, because I weren't really following 3DS stuff at the time. But yeah, I remember when I finally did play 7, I thought, you know what, this is kind of cool. And I was glad that they brought those gimmicks back for 8, just to give them another shot. Not so glad about the dual-wield lightning and blue shell though. They can die in a fire. Which I probably won't do underwater, but I'm getting pedantic now. Can I make the top route this time? Yes, I can. Oh yeah. I'll say is I've been adapting to the mirror mode a bit faster than I thought I might have. Like, maybe I'm better at just sight reading the courses than I thought I was. Because I was really worried about this going into this. It might have been a case of like, I have the other courses memorised so perfectly that this is going to throw me off. And although I've had to kind of correct myself a few times, like, I haven't been doing too bad with Touchwood. Although saying that, this is Cup 2 out of 12. And so there's plenty more room for mistakes to happen here. And god damn it, I'm getting hit by fucking everything today. I noticed that when I was playing the standard 150 stuff as well for the FC playthroughs runners. Like, I feel like I'm getting hit more on this version. Like, maybe they've rejigged the item distribution a little bit, although I don't think they have. Like, it might just... I don't know, it's hard to tell. They might have done something with it. But it just feels like I'm getting hit more than I used to. Here we are with Shy Guy Falls. This was one that I did have a bit of trouble with on standard 150cc. It's a course that I never really got good at. Like, there's some shortcuts in this that I never really picked up how to utilise the best. So there will be a few parts where I'll probably intentionally go on the slow routes. Hopefully not almost drive off the edge like a complete twat there. That would be nice, but you never know with me. I can make some dumb decisions. Some dumb life choices as well, such as I know what I can do. I can record myself playing video games for the internet. That won't make me a complete loser. Oh Christ, I don't know. It's the last playthrough of the year. What do you expect from me? I got nothing. But yeah, I've been thinking back a little bit, and I will probably do a proper 2017 retrospective for FlameHisWorld like I usually do at the end of the year. But this year's been one of the best years the channel's had, I think, in terms of content. Still not as consistent as I would like. I've kind of come to terms with the fact that I'm probably never going to have a stable, steady schedule. But with this playthrough, I will be meeting that goal I set myself in the 5-year video, in that this will be the 12th playthrough of the year. And so I met my 1 a month average, which I'm happy with that. I met a goal. I'll think about it for when I do the retrospective, but I might set something a little bit meatier as a goal next year. Because although I've made me 12 playthroughs, some of them have been quite short, and that's always going to be the case because a lot of the games I play tend to be 2D side-scrollers, like platformers, which, they tend to be short naturally, but, I did switch it up a little bit, like with Vanquish. I'm quite happy with how Vanquish came out. So we'll see next year. I've never been one to plan too far ahead really, although I've got a few ideas of games I want to cover. Some of them are more like 2D platformers, some of them are more Mario Kart, and that'll be stuff with Stephen and Chris. And there will also be, we've talked about this already, but we're going to be doing Pokemon Y next year, which I can do now that I've got a modded 3DS. I actually got a new 3DS with a capture mod in it, so I can record 3DS footage. I've started recording a few 3DS games for the FC Playthroughs channel. There's Sonic Generations 3DS up, which I knew that was going to be the first game I'd do whenever I got a 3DS mod, but because it's Sonic. It's probably the best of the 3DS Sonic games that I've played. And that will be a playthrough next year as well, by the way. There will be a Sonic Generations 3DS playthrough. But yeah, there'll be that and Pokemon Y next year. But there's a few other things. But ladies and gentlemen, there we go. That's it for the Flower Cup. I'll see you next time for the Star Cup. See you then.